So take me back to the beginning. What made you say yes to this project?
I could see it being a show when I read the book. And what I loved is how human it is for two people to have two different perceptions of the same action that happened in front of them. And I think because it's so based in reality and we can all relate to that, it just basically states we're all flawed. We all have triggers that make us think that that person walked in a room and scowled at us. But our friend goes, no, 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 she came in with a big smile on her face. Whose perception is right? So you get, that was enticing, is that, ooh, you're going to have the viewer go back and forth in support of Cherry. No, now I'm in support of Laura, you know? You go on this ping pong of, I hate her, but now I love her. I love her, I hate her, you know? So it's kind of interactive in a sense for the viewer.
I know you signed on first as a director. So what did that mean for you as a director? That must have been so much fun for you to imagine like how you were going to set this up from that point of view.
So much fun. And I saw it in my mind's eye more like a dance, a fluidity, and not so many cuts, and that it looked more like a film, and that it was lit more like a film. And Matthias Nyberg, my DP, was a godsend. Just, he was the perfect match because we had the same vision. And he did such a beautiful job with the movement of the show and the lighting. And, you know, it's very, it's a sophisticated, sexy.
And then what was it that made you finally say yes, that, okay, I'm going to take on this role?
We were getting into a crunch period of time where we had to make the show between this month and this month, because otherwise we would have lost the other actors, you know, that classic thing. And people were turning it down. I can't remember who we went out to or how many women to play Laura. Maybe we just spitballed. And then at a certain point, Jonathan Cavendish, the producer, said, would you ever consider playing her now that we're in this crunch time? And at a certain point, I was like, you know what? I so know these characters now. By the time you get another director or a new actress, we're not going to have enough time to explain how we want it to unfold, how we want Laura to be as a mother. And they just said, we've already spoken about it. It's already it's downloaded. It's in your bandwidth. Why don't you just go do it? And I went, okay. It's just extra work, really. And it's about flipping a switch on when you have to go in front of the camera, and you go and you do the scene, and then you go back and be a director, look at playback, correct things that you missed. But what's great is I get to call cut on myself when I'm really bad in a take.
The power.
The power is so beneficial.
Well, I was going to ask how you balance both roles, but clearly that helps.
Yep, that was a big help.
What were the biggest challenges you faced wearing both of those hats?
How do you manage your time? It was a very tight schedule. And the challenge is once that clock is ticking and it's going to be wrap, and you've got to cut some shots. So you're editing in your head the show while you're actually shooting it. Going, am I going to really miss that in the editing room if I don't get it? So you had to forfeit certain shots so you could keep others. Because you always want more time. You always want more money. You always, you know,
Sure.
And got to find a way.
How did you approach the shifting narratives and the balancing of the perspectives?
It's in the book. But in a book, as we all know, you know, you get 2 to 5 pages describing why that person's perception was that way, why they perceived it to be that way. And you also get a very in-depth description of Cherry, Daniel, Howard, Laura. You have to truncate all that when you're just trying to pull many, many factors into a scene, right? When you're adapting into a screenplay. And that to me is trying to master a nuance with each character so that we don't have to just have words explaining narrative. Have it in the emotion, have it in the silent moments. Shoot it in a way that captures a character thinking without having to say out loud, I'm thinking right now. You know what I mean?
And as you said at the top, like you can get inside each of these women's heads. What motivates each of them? Because you can be on each of them their sides at any given moment.
I think it's a pretty basic answer, which is the will and the drive, the determination to get what they want. And they both are very righteous. They both are like, no, I'm in the right. And she says, no, I'm in the right. And that's a battle of the wills.
And it's not a matter of keeping the audience on each other's side. It's just sort of a matter of, okay, they do this, and then you go on this journey with them, and then the fallout is just like, oh my God, I can't believe we got here.
Yeah, I mean, it's that they created at Amazon, which I thought was so smart. They're like, we're going to build a social media campaign-ish thing where people will be writing in to say, whose team were you on in episode 2?
Mm-hmm.
Sherry's or Laura's? So we have Team Laura, Team Sherry. You know what? You're going to waffle. You're going to flip-flop. You're going to be in support of right on. I would so do the same thing. And then you see this heinous act from one of them and you go, oh my God, I can't believe I supported her.
How much pressure did you feel or to be loyal to the book? Because I know there were a lot of changes that were made. Or did you feel free that you could create what you wanted to do with the book and tell the story you wanted to tell?
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily changes. It was additions. We added more spice because it's a visual medium. You want to see that. I mean, in the book, there is a knife. It used to open with the end of episode 6, bloody knife, destroyed dining table with Babette's feast, blood in the swimming pool water, So all those things were actually there. We needed more things per episode to hook the audience. It was just additional things just to amplify it. Because listen, we've got a lot of competition out there in the content world.
Right.
Very risque, I saw Adolescence recently. What a show.
Yep.
An amazing show. But when you have that kind of high octane reality, I wanted to keep it more realistic and not melodramatic.
Mm-hmm.
Because it could be seen as very melodramatic, and some people may think it is, but I wanted to try to root it in a reality that people end up being driven sometimes to that place, and they do things that are unfathomable. What Laura does to Cherry on the phone in the hospital, it's like, that's pretty extreme. But if you think about the reality, if a doctor says, I maybe give your son 20% chance of life, that's pretty low.
Yeah.
And Laura just went, you know what? He's probably going to die, so I'm just going to tell her. So there's a hook that wasn't, in the original manuscript. But again, it's moving from book to screen. You need some more juicy, delicious moments. It's what everybody wants, of course.
And then talk about the ending. How did you come up with the ending?
I did. Because I just was thinking it would be obvious, right? If Cherry killed Laura. Or Laura killed Cherry. And I thought, what a Greek tragedy. And that he's under the influence, so he's not completely coherent as my son killing mommy. I liked that aspect of, and he's in a zone. He's in a haze. He doesn't even know what he's doing. He doesn't even know that it's water that's deeper than surface. You know what I mean? You've got your equilibrium's off. He's stumbling down the stairs. He's on multiple Valium or whatever mom gave him. Yeah, so he's not in his right mind. Happy accident. There was a happy accident for Cherry. Let's put it that way.
But then you also had that genius coda at the end where he finds the phone.
That was the writers. That's pretty great.
It's pretty great. What do you think the audiences are looking for now? I guess is what I would say, given where you started with House of Cards and where the girlfriend is now. Because I would say House of Cards kind of really pushed the ante so much then too, like all the things that you're talking about with like crazy plot twists and characters pulling off insane stunts.
Sure. And listen, we had advisors in Washington, D.C. that the writers would talk to on a daily basis and say, listen, we're in the writer's room and we've come up with this idea. Is that just ludicrous? Would it be feasible? And these advisors, they'd be like, oh, yeah, completely. That would happen. Pushing the boundaries is what people are expecting now. I think everybody, it's escapism. We're all watching for the same reasons. We want to like it. We want to be engaged. We want to be titillated. We want to be shocked. Yeah, how great. It's a different world today because everything has become much more transparent. And if you're going to go mild in the spice world, so you better get in line,
You also have to deliver. Like you can't just be outrageous for outrageous sake.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because there is so much content. And there's so much, breaking the barrier of so that you get more shock value. And it's actually a great challenge as a producer and a director. It's going, what else could we do?
So now that you're a producer and a director, is that what excites you when you're looking for projects?
I love all of it. I love all of it. I think I'm going to take some time off after this one.
Well
A little bit of time, but I love all of it. I love the directing specifically because I get to work with everybody, the whole team, and everybody is bringing their creative ideas to the table, and we all just build this architectural piece together. It's incredible, and I love being in the editing room. Love it, because you can build a scene when you didn't have enough time to get your shots, right? You can make a scene that wasn't a complete scene just because of happenstance. Like it was just, that was the schedule, and you just didn't have the time. It's like needle threads, you're like threading it together going, is that believable? Is that a scene? Okay, great. Great. I think we can get away with that.
What opportunities have you seen change as a woman director?
There's just more of them. That's been going on for a while. And I love that, the glass ceiling got broken a while ago. And it's just opening up more and more. And listen, this is not saying, oh, just about women. This is directors from Bangladesh, Peru. And I do think the industry has embraced it more than ever before with women being in that seat, being in that position. Listen, we all women, we speak a different language than men. And somebody from Peru is going to speak a different language from the Bangladeshi. It's
Men, for sure.
Everybody should be given the chance.
And then I guess I have to let you go. But last question. So is Laura really dead?
I don't know. Is she?
I don't know. What do we think?
What do you think? That was the whole point.
That's
the viewer.